What the fuck? It's like they lost their fucking mind.
Welcome back to PSGL, home to the fastest drivers on the planet and the biggest egos. And I have to say, this has been a lackluster season from me. After that first round where we scored points, we have yet to score another. And pressure is ramping up to deliver a good result in the race today. And just like any other track, overtaking here is going to be incredibly difficult. And if you thought last week's race at Belgium was crazy, wait until you see how this one unfolds. And stay until the very end because there's something we have to talk about.
Bro fell asleep. We do a little breathing exercise, little meditation, if you will.
Now, if you're wondering why I chose to meditate, it's because I tend to put a lot of pressure on myself to perform. And in return, it actually causes me to bottle more often, which is counterproductive. But going into this lap, it is going to have to be an incredible banker because I intend to be in the top 10 today. A lot of overtake being used out of turn 1. That's because you want to carry this momentum all the way down to turn 4. But unfortunately, I go very, very deep, missing the apex by a mile. An otherwise great start to the qualifying session has already gone halfway down the drain. And I make another big mistake coming into the hairpin of the second sector, nearly losing the rears, but keeping it on track. But that little wiggle cost us at least a tenth and a half, if you ask me. But still, we're gonna send it because we're carrying a purple sector 1 right now. It is hard to see whether it's a true purple sector 1 or it's just because we were one of the first drivers to set a lap. Keeping it tight here to the penultimate corner and into the final corner, you gotta be very brave on the throttle. But unfortunately, again, a little bit deep, but still, that is good enough for a 21.8. But even then, that is still P13 on the grid right now. This goes to show how quick the competition is.
Purple is the best one in the session.
Purple sector 1? Let's go. Let's go.
The good news is, even with all the mistakes we made on that lap, it is still a 21.8, and we still got 2 more shots at this, and I intend to make every single one of them count. Remember, our Sector 1 was the provisional purple Sector 1, but this one is not too great. We lose nearly 800s coming out of turn 1, but we take a tighter line through the S's this time and use a little bit less battery into turn 4, getting a little closer to the apex this time, still missing a little bit, but it's a lot better already. Almost green in the delta, still 400s down. And the worst thing you can do in a moment like this is to look at your delta and get discouraged. The best thing to do is just push on and still full on send it. Heavy braking into the chicane, flick the wheel, and we actually get a drift into the chicane. And we come out a 10th in the green.
Okay.
And remember, there's still 2 corners left where there can be some big time gains. Into this hairpin, break out of the 15-meter board, hug the apex, and look at how much time we just gained coming out of that corner. Nearly 2 tenths up. If we can improve into the final corner as well, this is on to be a stellar lap. Even though it's still not perfect, but we go a little bit deep into this technical right and through the double left under the hotel section. A little bit scared of the throttle, but still, we maintain our time gain, maybe losing about 300s, and into the final corner. Can we hit it right this time? Hit the apex, up to the finish line, but we get a big snap, and unfortunately, we don't gain that much.
Guys, did you just see the drift? Palm 97. P4. God damn. Okay, old man's got it.
However, we've already exhausted 2 runs, and there's only a 3rd and last one left.
Guys, I'm gonna look at chat after the lap. See you on the other side.
And I cannot afford to mess this up. Into our 3rd and final run of the day. Turn 1, a little bit deep and a little too aggressive on the throttle. And that is another invalidation right as we start the lap. Heartbreaking. And I do something completely stupid here. I retire on track. And with everybody starting their last runs of the day, this is bound to be explosive. Just watch this clip.
Are you okay? That was a nasty hit.
Country road.
So we spoke about it through DMs and there are no hard feelings, but we did both agree that it would be in both of our best interests to not retire on track anymore in the near future. But now we have another problem. Starting down at P15 is not ideal in Abu Dhabi because overtaking here, contrary to popular beliefs, is actually extremely difficult, especially this year, just like on almost any other track. But first, we need to survive the first lap. Now, the Aston manages to get in front at the exit of turn 1, but now there's another car down the inside, a Mercedes, and then the inside line turns into the outside with more distance to cover, and we managed to get in front. But now there's a lot of bumping up ahead, and that's Ryan Jacobs losing a lot of positions. I reckon he just want to take it safe because he's in the championship right now, but now we're getting sandwiched by 2 cars on both sides.
Holy shit, what is going on? Hey, I'm still here, I'm still here.
Then another one behind us, literally boxed in with nowhere to go. And I'm trying really hard to not get damaged on the opening lap here. A car goes down the outside and I give him room because the last thing I want is to get caught up and then lose a piece of my front wing again. So far, so good. No positions gained, no positions lost. Still down in P15, but we do have a front wing that is still intact. And that's something we can work with. But it's not over yet because they're still going side by side. Car goes flying.
Oh! What the fuck?
Yellow flags, green flags. Shit is going absolutely haywire. Another car sends it, and then the arrow turns red for the outside again. This is crazy. And all this time, I'm trying to keep my nose clean.
Aston Martin on Aston Martin action.
And these two ahead are still going side by side. It's only a matter of time. One of them gets pushed off. And on the exit of the last corner, they touch again.
Oh! What the fuck?
And I'm absolutely speechless.
People are it's like they lost their fucking mind. What? What the fuck? What? Like he just boom into the wall. We're behind the championship leader. What the fuck? You thought last week's race was spicy?
As we go racing again, we have to think of the strategy today. 2-stop is not a viable option around Abu Dhabi, and being a 1-stop, this means we only have one opportunity to pull off the right strategy call. Is it an undercut, an overcut? Generally, the undercut is very strong here. You can gain up to 2 seconds on the outlap alone, and this is what most people are going to opt for today. But remember, the bigger the undercut, the bigger the drop-off at the end of the race. And being at Abu Dhabi, we're running one of the softest compounds in the game, C3, C4, and C5. These tires will have very high degradation. Speaking of degradation, my pace is not looking so great right now. Going deep into turn 4, and now Dennis is right on the back of our gearbox, sniffing our ass. But he decides to back off. We have way more straight line speed than he does, and this is the problem with this game. Even though you can get such a superior exit, if the guy in front of you has better top speed and more battery, you're not getting past. And Dennis is staying so close on the exit of corners. He's probably running way higher downforce than we are. Just a little bit that gives him the extra traction on corner exits. And I'm taking it very easy through this long left here because this corner, along with all the other long left-handers, will destroy your right side tires if you're not careful. And all this time, he's still 2/10 behind. So I cover off the inside a little bit so he doesn't send it, because as long as I'm in the train, I have DRS to use to defend against him. Jumping to the middle of lap 6, Ryan Jacobs is not going for a move on Alessandro, who's struggling a little bit on pace, goes incredibly deep into the chicane, and this allows Ryan to get a better run out of the chicane. Now he's going to go on the attack again. The question is, who's going to have more battery between the two? And it seems like Ryan might get the upper hand into the hairpin. Around the outside he goes, sends it. Still going side by side, by the way. Both are still fighting incredibly hard. This is hard racing. Alessandro might have pushed him off a little bit, but Ryan's not letting this one go. Alessandro is running very low on battery. Ryan goes down the outside, which is going to turn it into the inside for this double left, and he manages to get in front of Alessandro, having seemingly slightly better tires, and he gets the move done. But here's the thing though, Alessandro spent the entire lap in full deployment mode with his battery and full pushing on the tires. His tires are warm and his battery is empty. And all we need to do now is to get a good run out of turn 4 and go for a move into the chicane. I fake a dummy down the inside. He gives us the room. I'm going to try to get a better traction out of the corner. A little snap, unfortunately. But still, knowing that he's running very low on battery, I'm going to go for it. absolute balls to the wall. Down to 25%. He goes defensive. And I'm going to go around the outside for the chicane. Brake early, though. He's going to go slightly deep. Overshoots the apex a little bit. And now on the exit of the chicane, I still have 40% battery left. Full deployment. Again, he's already flashing. And just barely we managed to inch ahead. Even though we had way more battery than he did. Dirty air in combination with the lack of slipstream makes overtaking so hard. You really have to work for it. It is now lap 8, coming to the end of lap 8 and the start of lap 9. And we're still sitting in P11 after having overtaken Alessandro. But now, guys are already diving into the pits. One guy actually went in at the end of lap 7, which is completely crazy to me because that means you need to do 22 laps on the single set of hards, and that is going to be very difficult. We're talking about averaging 3.5% a lap on the hards, and that is incredibly difficult to do. One more lap, more people going into the pits. And I'm thinking right now, do we pull the trigger early?
Yep. How's it faster? Lap 10 already?
Do we value track position more, or do we prefer to have slightly better tires in the second stint, knowing that we have the lower wings, which is going to help with the overtaking? And remember that these guys that went in will all have way higher tire wear than we will. Because like I said, the bigger the undercut, the bigger the drop off. But at the end of lap 10, Ryan goes into the pits. And I ought to stay out another one. But now there's a big gap in front of us and we have to push to go fill up that gap because the driver behind is going to look to overtake us. And I want to maximize my in-laps as much as possible, pushing hard now, going almost off track, nearly picking up a track limit invalidation. I don't care what happens today. I'm scoring points. But we had a little moment coming out of the S's, out of Sector 1, and now Takubi behind is looking very hungry. He's 5 tenths away, 2 tenths now. Those hards are way faster relative to our mediums, but he does not have enough battery. So he cannot overtake, even though he has DRS, which is completely stupid in my opinion, by the way. And it's the exact same story on the next straight. Even though he got a better exit, he has DRS, he has no battery, so he cannot go for any moves. And we're just about outside of the DRS window, 2 tenths away. I'm gonna send it to the next sequence of corners, and me getting this DRS or not will determine whether we should go in or stay out this lap. But the problem is, a McLaren, the teammate, is in front of us and we cannot afford to double stack, so we have to do opposite to whatever he does. But he decides to go in this lap, and we're now the sole car out on track. Very not ideal if you ask me, but we push on and go incredibly deep into turn 4. Takubi's probably not happy about this either, because this is costing him a lot of time as well. And I'm actually going to turn off the battery here to let him go, because giving me DRS on the next straight is actually going to help me on this in lap. And holding him up here, fighting him, is not really productive because we're not exactly on the same strategy. We might fight each other in the closing stages of the race, but right now we're gonna help each other doing this in lap to maximize this last lap while out on the mediums. And the end of lap 12, we go into the pits, and this is where I pick up an unfair 3-second penalty. The game actually gave me 4 warnings in one corner.
Yeah. Guys, round me to save race director at the end, okay?
And usually by saving the race director, you can get it pretty easily removed in most leagues, unless you're in PSGL. More to come on that later.
Best hard tires of the bunch.
But now, we're going to be coming out in no man's land because we've been basically undercut by the entire grid. But I have something that they don't. The freshest tires on the grid. This means I'm gonna be the one holding all the cards and coming out of the pits right away. We're gonna go on the attack on this guy because I cannot afford to stay behind him into the 3rd sector where the mechanical grip is going to make a big difference. And if we do, we might not catch up the train in time.
Damn, the undercut is so huge. Okay, we gotta look after the tires and catch up at the same time.
And it only took us 3 laps time to catch up to the train, showing how good our pace is in the race, but also how much saving the train is actually doing. And now we gotta start picking them off one by one. We're gonna have the better tires, but they have the track position. Who's gonna have the upper hand? There's only one way to find out. And they're going 3 wide nearly into the chicane. I almost run into the back of the Williams, who slowed down tremendously, but now I get much better traction out of the second chicane. Overtake on. He's also using overtake as well and actually have way better top speed than he does, but he sends it down the inside of the McLaren, who manages to avoid him just about. But now it's 3 wide on the exit of the hairpin. I touch the Williams, unfortunately, and that's going to compromise my run. But now there's a Haas down my inside, and I have to leave him some room. But here the Williams gets pushed off, and I have another car on my inside, but he taps me around and nearly pushes me into the wall.
What the fucking scene?
He reported me for this, by the way. And since there was another car on my
What's this
outside,
guy's problem?
I couldn't give him more room to rejoin the track. And that is going to be no further action from the stewards. And this little move, this little head loss, actually cost him more than it's going to cost me. Because he is now away from the train, and I still have way better tires than he does. Although he did push me off track while I was sideways, and that gave me a lot of tire wear. But now I have to catch up to the train again and then start over from the beginning. Mind you, we had already overtaken the Haas driver a few laps earlier, and now we have to do it again. This is costing us so much race time.
We still have the tire advantage, so don't panic, guys. Don't panic. Calma, calma.
I am pushing hard now because that's up to 4 cars we can pass today, and that is a lot of points on the table. And I'm thinking, how on earth, with my fading hearts, am I going to be able to overtake these cars again on track? But going into the chicane, this is where shit goes completely bonkers. All 3 cars, big pile up into the chicane, and 3 overtake, actually a triple overtake. Now, one of them managed to escape unscathed, and that is Dennis. Remember, he was very, very quick in the first stint, and with the higher wings, his pace should be pretty good in clean air. But remember, he boxed a lot earlier than we did, and I think we should have the pace to catch him. But right now, there's another problem at hand. Takubi on the fresh mediums behind us. And remember, he started on the hards, so he only just went onto the mediums, and those mediums are incredibly fast right now. I'm already on 8-lap old hards, and the other guys around me are on even older tires. So those mediums will make quick work of those guys. And I'm absolutely sending it, but I'm having to nurse these tires a little bit because of the slide we had earlier. The little incident cost us a lot of rear grip, but I'm steadily catching up to Dennis now. And Simone is telling me to push.
You can push a bit more.
That straight line speed and tire performance is really coming up clutch. But Takubi has already gone past Marios, and we're next on the chopping block. How long can those mediums stay quick? Because they, unlike the hards, will fade very, very quickly. They drop off even faster than the hards do. But as of right now, he's still quicker. So we have to find a way to get past Dennis before Takubi overtakes us. So I'm going to go for the move here into the chicane. I'm going to burn everything I got. DRS wide open, down to almost 0%. He squeezes me on the inside, but I come in with way too much overspeed, and I go deep, completely locking the fronts. And now on the exit of this corner, Takubi might just be able to get me here. I'm draining all my battery. I have to hold on to this position for as long as we can, because if he does get past here, he's gonna overtake Dennis, and then we'll never see him again. I still managed to just about stay ahead, going slightly defensive to deter him from sending it down the inside. Every lap we can hold him back means 1 lap longer he's gonna have to stay behind, and those mediums will quickly start to fade. And he sends it down the inside here, nearly pushing me off track. He gives the position back, but the damage is done. I lost about 5 or 6 tenths to Dennis in front, and with the amount of battery I have, I'm not going to be able to catch up to him before the DRS zone.
Takubi, don't go for it there, man.
And I'm absolutely sending it here, just barely outside of the 1 second window. Same thing at turn 1. There's only 1 corner between this and turn 4, actually, and the rest is all straight line speed and the line you take. 800s out of the 1 second window. Overtake on the exit, but it's not enough. We're not gonna get DRS to defend here on this straight, and I'm pushing my ass off here, but unfortunately, it's not enough to get back inside Dennis's DRS. Our tires basically get faded at this point. There's not that much of a tire advantage anymore, and he moves past quite comfortably, if I might say so, and it only takes another lap for him to move past Dennis as well. And I'm thinking right now, if I can just stay within maybe 3, 4, or 5 second window to Takubi, that move on me probably was penalty worthy. You never know about the stewards, but I still want to overtake Dennis on track in case his penalties get removed so that we can guarantee this P8 or P7 or whatever. But Dennis just barely manages to hold on a lap after lap. Staying inside the DRS is such a crucial tool when it comes to racing in the F1 games. It gives you so much to defend with, and I'm really trying to get on the back of him so I can go for an overtake, but it's very, very difficult to do it with the dirty air. But now, out of turn 4 on the penultimate lap of the race, I'm close enough to go for another attempt down the inside, even though he has DRS. I'm gonna brake a little earlier here, force him to take the tight line, which allows me to get a much better exit. A little slide coming out of the corner, but now we are so close. 20%. He's already flashing. I still got 10% left. And drain everything, leaving nothing on the table. There's a car off to the side. Somebody's actually had a puncture in this race, and that's another position gain. 2 gained on a single straight, up to P7 now. All we need to do now is keep Dennis far away and stay within a 3-second window to Takubi, not knowing how harsh of a penalty he's gonna get. In case it's a 3, we're gonna be covered. And on the exit of turn 4, Dennis is not even close. That tire advantage is really coming in clutch. But I gotta tell you, even then, the rears don't feel good right now. But all we need to do now is to keep it on track and bring it across the line. If all penalties come through, we should be looking at a P6 today, which is our best finishing result all season long, despite everything that has happened today.
Come on, let's go. Okay, race director. Business first. Oh my God. Woo. Yo. Grazie ragazzi.
But we didn't get that penalty removed. And Takubi didn't get a penalty. And honestly, I'm fine with that. It was a little push to pass, a little on the limit, but he did give the advantage back. But I don't think he would have been able to overtake us on the next lap if I didn't lose the DRS to Dennis. Guess we'll never know. But why on earth is this not valid? This is not the first time this has happened in PSGL. Last season, I also had a voided penalty because I chose the wrong corner number. It's happened to Dennis in this race. It's also happened to Ton97 last season around Coda. It has happened to countless drivers in PSGL. Like, really, man? You're looking at the ticket. Just remove the 3-second, bro. And this only happened because I chose unfair penalty instead of unfair warning. What's the difference? This is like the McDonald's employee at the drive-thru telling you we can't do Big Macs without lettuce because it's not an option on the menu. Anyways, I've said enough about it. You can make up your own opinion about it and let me know in the comments below if you want. I feel truly lucky this season to have been able to race against so many talented and fast drivers in F4. And to see how far I've come, this is something that I can truly be proud of. Thank you for the support. Thank you for believing in me. And this is Formula Kai signing off. I'll be seeing you in the next one.
Yo, the 2 unks in P6 and 7.